Well, right now I'm at a place that, if you are familiar with the book or series Band of Brothers, it should be quite familiar to you. This is Brecourt Manor, where on June 6th of 1944, Dick Winters and some of the men from Easy Company rolled up 3 guns, 105 millimeter guns that were firing towards Utah Beach, and then D Company took the 4th. Now, we've done some videos here before, but there's a little bit more to the story of Brecourt Manor than what you see in the series and what you typically see in videos. So we're going to take a little bit more of a look at the rest of the story of what happened here at Brecourt. As I mentioned, we are at the Brecourt Gun Battery, and we're pretty fortunate today. We've got the grandson of the original owner, Charles de Villavier, who has joined us and is hanging out with us a little bit today. He's going to show us a few things. And then right over here, this is the approximate position of the #1 gun that Dick Winters and the men from Easy took out on June 6th. Now, as I've said, we've already done some videos on this, so I'll put the link in the description. You can go back and refer to that. But I'm going to give just a quick overview, a quick refresher on what happened here. So on June 6th, the guns here at Brecourt Battery are firing, and Dick Winters gets the order to assemble a team and take them out. So in short, he and Buck Compton lead 2 different groups that come up right around in here. So they're going to be advancing from a place called Le Grand Chemin, and they're going to hit a trench line that runs right along this hedgerow right here. And one by one, they're going to be taking out the first 3 of 4 105 millimeter guns here at Brecourt Battery. Now, there's a little bit of confusion as to where the guns were placed, and we were doing a little bit of looking earlier as we were walking around here. Like right here in this corner might be where the #1 gun was, and it might be a little bit further to my right. But if we duck under here, well, you can see where there's been a team in here that has been doing a little bit of excavating and doing a little bit of an archaeological dig to try and ascertain the exact position of these guns. But right now, I'm definitely standing in the trench line that the men of Easy Company would have advanced right here along this route as they were going and taking out numbers 1, 2, and 3 guns here at the battery. And Erica's, of course, brought along a few things that honestly are pretty jaw-dropping.
So we're at one of the gun emplacements here along the trench line at Brecourt Manor, and I wanted to bring this really special artifact out to show to Charles, the owner. This is Major Dick Winters' original Distinguished Service Cross that he was presented for valor here at Brecourt Manor, and it was given to him by General Bradley in a ceremony in Normandy. But I wanted to show this to you, Charles. That's Dick Winters' original Distinguished Service Cross. I wanted to bring it out here today.
I think for me to have this medal in my hand in the place where Dick is this time, so special time. So thank you.
After the first gun is rolled up, the men from Easy are going to continue on down this trench line. And as you read in the book and see in the series, they take out guns 2 and 3. And the position of gun 4, that one is a little bit of a mystery, but it's down this ditch line just a little bit. And for that one, Ronald Spears and some of the guys from Dog Company, and also there were a few from Fox Company and maybe even a few others who stepped up and asked if they could have the pleasure of taking that one out. Now, the 4 guns here at Brecourt Battery are taken out, but that doesn't mean that the fighting here was over. There were still Germans manning machine guns on the back side of the field. There were Germans in Brecourt Manor itself. So Lewis Nixon was sent back to bring up some armor support from the beach, and the fighting that had started with the taking out of these 4 guns continued on into the day. All right, we've moved over now to Brecourt Manor itself, and as I mentioned, just because the 4 guns were taken out didn't mean the fighting at Brecourt Manor was over. There was still a lot of intense fighting that was taking place right around here. So we're going to look at some of the evidence of some of the fighting that took place right here at the manor itself. One thing that people tend to forget, not only in this fight, but in many engagements in any conflict, is that there were civilians here. There were people here. Inside this window, well, that was the kitchen here at Brecourt Manor. These were the strongest and thickest walls here at this place. So the family took refuge inside there, and Charles's sister was telling me that their grandmother recalled bullets zipping in through these windows as the fighting was going on right here at this place. So definitely a horrific experience for the family. And as we've mentioned in an earlier video, their son, Michel, was shot in the back accidentally by an American paratrooper. So this was a very traumatic experience for all involved.
So after the 4 guns were taken, there was some machine gun fire still being drawn from behind the trench line. So they decided to put mortar fire down on this area. A lot of the Germans had retreated back into this general area, some into the building itself. So some of the mortar fire was being directed right at this house, and this is battle damage from that mortar. And that mortar was fired by none other than Don Malarkey of Easy Company. And you might know him from the series. And he only had part of his mortar. He only had the tube and the legs. The base plate, which prevents it from digging itself into the ground, it gives it support, was carried by Brad Freeman of Easy Company. And I was fortunate enough to talk to him quite a bit, and he told me he got here late, and he was carrying that base plate, and by the time he got here, Malarkey had already shot a bunch of mortar shells. And what it does is, because it's a tube, just digging into the ground, it had partially dug itself into the ground. So because it was missing that base plate, it wasn't firing like it should be. But this is some evidence of Don Malarkey's mortar fire right here on the corner of the building at Brecourt Manor.
All right, now that's some of the stuff from outside of the manor. Now, this is a private residence, and the public is not allowed inside, but Charles and his family have been kind enough to invite us to come in and take a look at some of the battle damage that was sustained inside the walls of the manor.
You have here the trace of the bullet.
Oh, yeah.
What time, I don't know, it's a D-Day morning, but what time, I don't know exactly.
Was your family in the home?
No, in the other room.
Okay.
Right. Inside the, is more protect the other room here.
Oh, okay.
Voilà.
Okay. Here are a few other spots on the exterior of the home that Charles just showed me that have bullet damage. So if you look at this shutter right here, down at the very bottom, that split is from a bullet strike. And then on the other shutter, right there on the right hand side, you can see where there's another bullet strike. So there's evidence of the battle that took place here outside the home, and there's evidence inside the home as well. Charles has been kind enough to allow us to come inside the home, and here on the inside, again, we can see evidence of the battle that took place here. So if you see that scar mark right there on the ceiling, that is a bullet strike. And then, Charles, where was the other one? Oh, okay, yeah. This one has had some repairs that have been done to it, but you can also see where a bullet struck the frame of the window here. Now, again, there were Germans who were held up here inside the home during the battle. And here's some more evidence of the fighting that took place here. You might notice right in here, in this area, there's a bit of a dark spot. That is a blood stain here on the tile from a German who was either wounded or killed. We don't know for sure, but he was struck and was lying right here on the floor, and the stains from his blood still remain here today.
On June 22nd, 1944, a few weeks after D-Day, Major Dick Winters decided to write down what he called his D-Day diary. And he had some notes that he had made along the way. And he got behind a typewriter and he typed out this 6-page document. And it was typed on what was called onion paper, meaning there was a piece of paper with a copy blue paper behind it, and then it would make a duplicate, and that was common to write after action reports and other military documents. So at the Gettysburg Museum of History, we had basically 2 copies of this that he made. It's a hand-typed document that made 2 of them, and it's his entire reflections of D-Day, including a map that he drew of Brecourt Manor by hand. That's done in ink, and because there were two versions of this, meaning one document made 2 pieces, I've decided to give one of the 2 to the Utah Beach Museum and my friend Charles, and I just thought this would be a very appropriate place to be. That way we could have one with the Major Dick Winters collection at the Gettysburg Museum of History, and the other one would be at the Utah Beach Museum. So I want to give that to you today, Charles, and as a symbol of our friendship, and I think it's a good place for it at the Utah Beach Museum.
Thank you, my friend Eric. It is an honor to have this document in Utah. And also, you know the special amitié with my family on
Yes.
Dick Winters. It's very important to
Yes.
have this piece in Utah.
I think-
Donc, Eric, thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Welcome. No, it's a pleasure. Voilà.
All right, well, that was something else to be able to see, and I'm glad that we could film it and be able to share it with everyone. But that was a little bit more of the story of what happened right here on June 6th at Brecourt Manor.